everyone, hello YouTube, this is Felipe, o Gato de Salto, and today I'm going to show you something amazing, very specific to Rio. I am nervous, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know if I should do it, I don't know if it's safe to do it, but why not, else you're probably never gonna see this. I also don't know if I recommend you to do it, but anyway, today's episode is about Moto Taxis. Alright, so I am here close to the Uruguay metro station and I have to go up a favela because this is where I'm staying. I'm staying with a friend and he currently lives there and it's safe. You know, it's not super safe, but it's safe. But it's considered an area of risk. So Uber drivers won't go there. Taxi drivers would go, but they are not always willing to go. So people need a different alternative to go up to the top of the hills, and that's how the Moto Taxi drivers were invented. Now, basically what to do is, if you know where you want to go, again, I do not recommend you, foreigner people, to take Moto Taxis ever, but still you need to know about it. You need to know that this exists. Anyway, you choose where you want to go, you find out how people get there, and if it's a community, usually there will be a motor taxi and you find the motor taxi stops. Sometimes the prices are tabled and they can tell you like, where are you gonna go? And I'm gonna say, well, in my case I'm going to the Morro do Andaraí, and I'll tell where and it's gonna tell me the price. And then you'll get a helmet, you put your helmet on. If you ever try to do this, I do not recommend you to do this again. You put your helmet on, you get on the bike and you go. So I'm going to show you that, and I really hope I am not going to drop my phone on the street. I might speak Portuguese also for a security reason, so people don't see that I have any ties to other countries. Alright, so let's try to find the motor taxi stop. I'm going to show you how that looks. It's very unofficial. Alright, so as you can see, we are in a very busy street of Rio. It's called Conde do Bonfim, and right here, right next to the exit of the subway station, there is this. So Ponto Aberto means that the stop is currently working and functioning. So now all we have to do is to wait for a motor taxi driver to arrive. Something I can already recommend in advance is for you to pack your bags very tightly, or preferably have a backpack or something that goes attached to your body that you don't need to hold on your hands, because you need your hands to hold onto the motorcycle structure. In my case, because I'm a guy, I didn't trust myself to hold the motor taxi driver because I think that could be awkward. So yeah, I hope my phone won't get stolen, but anyway, so make sure you have your belongings. You know, if you're ever doing this, I do not recommend you to do this, but make sure you have your belongings all together and you don't need your hands to hold anything. I've done it before, holding many different bags, and it was not a pleasant situation. So you see, the motor taxi driver just arrived and there are two helmets. He just asked me to wait for a little bit because he's delivering something across the street. Fun. I'm also still have to ask permission for him to be able to film this. I guess he'll be fine with it. so as you see, I survived. My phone survived. Everyone survived. But there are a few thoughts I would like to share with you just because they're still fresh in my mind. The first one is that I actually asked the guy, like the driver, if I could film, and he said that that was okay, there was no problem, but I shouldn't film him. I should just film myself, which I thought, okay, that's, fair. I asked him to drive relatively slow, and he didn't respect that at all. He went rushing all the time, in between the cars, in between everything. Eventually he was actually nice and say, hey, when you want to film, just let me know and I'll slow down. And so he did. He didn't know I was trying to film all the way. You'll see, it's very bumpy. It's crazy. The condition of the roads here in the communities of Rio are so bad. There are so many holes in the ground on the road that, it's so bumpy. You will see my camera shaking all the time, and there's nothing I could do. I could have done it with more equipment, but that was not the point. I didn't want to stand out, and really it's crazy because these people depend on this form of transportation to get home. And sometimes you see like mothers of families or head of families going up on a motor taxi, not only with their working bag, but also with supermarket bags and grocery shop bags. All their groceries are like, they can't buy that much. It's not like going to the grocery shop, I don't know, in your country where you live, that you can go by foot, or perhaps take your car and load your car with everything that you might need for the week or for the month and go back home. No, the people who live in the communities of Rio, just like where I'm staying right now, they have to do it on a daily basis or on a 2-day basis because they cannot get at that much, product and fruits and whatever they're going to eat or drink. They can't get that onto the motor taxi and go up to the favela. So they either have to walk up with the groceries or they have to take a motor taxi. And then this is something every time I take a motor taxi, I get sort of anxious because you really have to hold on. They drive so fast and the road conditions are so bad. It's actually scary. And then we started to drive up the hill. You probably saw in the video, after we passed the police, sort of went down and then eventually started going up again. That's when I hit the turn because they closed the road, and he was like, okay, we have to go the other way. And that's when he started saying, hey, stop filming. We are in the middle of the community. What? You can't film here. This is not allowed. And it's true. I definitely overstepped by doing this because the community they never know who is on the motorbike, especially with the helmet, and it might be a fraction of another gang, So what I did today it's not recommendable, but is a fragment of the reality. Is something that I really wanted to show to you guys. Rio is not only about coming here and staying in nice hotels. Of course, it's about that if you have the money and if you are a tourist. But for you to understand the origin of Samba and how much Samba is needed by these people as an escape valve, you actually have to see this type of stuff. You need to see where they live, how they live, to be able to respect the culture and appreciate when they go down the hill, down the community hill, to play or to dance. It's completely different than just getting out of your 5-star hotel, getting an Uber, and going to the Samba school. Think about that. Okay? But anyway, it was exciting, it was scary, it was thrilling. I ended up paying 10 reais for my trip, which is nothing. Of course, needless to say, when you take a motor taxi, you have to pay cash. They do not accept credit cards yet. But yeah, they exist. Sometimes they're very handy because you can't get an Uber or you can't get a taxi and you really have to go, or you're late or whatever. And there's a motor taxi right there. So sometimes they come in very handy, but there are many other types of transportation in Rio which are actually reliable. The metro is reliable. So give preference to that, and I don't assume that you will be going around in favelas that much. Anyway, if you like the video and you like the content of the channel, don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a question or a comment. You can even call me crazy, I understand, because this was a bit out of control. But yes, another little piece, hidden piece for you from our beautiful Samba world. Take care, bye.